Thank you for joining me today as we talk about using our IT Fundamentals Pro course materials. In this video, we'll discuss accessing the course, teacher tools, and much more. Let's get started. To start, we're going to go ahead and at testout.com, select in the right-hand corner the login button. I've previously logged in, so it just is going to go ahead and get me into the system. Click on My Products and find the course that you want to have access to. Again, we're talking about IT Fundamentals Pro. Before we get into the course, let's talk about our teaching aids. Here you will find many different resources for you as the teachers. You're trying to prepare your students to prepare your classes for next fall. Here we've got some class activities, which includes PowerPoint slides and presentations. We've got the course outlines and lesson plans. This is all great information to help you as you are preparing to teach this in your classroom. Go ahead and get into the course itself. When we go ahead and log in to click in here, it does remember the last place we were working, and so that's where it does bring us up. Convenient there. We also have the option to take a look at our course outline, where you can see the different chapters as well as the sections within those chapters. For us today, we're going to go ahead and jump into section 1.4, where we will see our first assignment here, which is going to be a video. In our curriculum, we have 4 different teaching styles. We've got video instructions and demonstrations. We've got fact sheets. We've got simulations. And we have quizzes. We'll be talking about all of those items here as we go through today. So this is one of our videos. I'm going to go ahead and turn my volume down here. This is Spencer. He's one of 5 teachers that you will see in our videos. He will briefly go through the different concepts that we're going to be talking about. We do try to keep our videos at a minimum of about 5 minutes or less as you're watching through him. We do have options to watch this just as the video as we just saw, or with the interactive script, so we can follow along exactly what he is saying. Next, we will go ahead and see one of our fact sheets. This is basically a written out version of what your students just saw in that video. So just can be a little bit different way to explain the same kinds of concepts for your students. You can see what those look like there. Here's another video. We'll skip past that. We're going to jump into our simulations. Now, the simulations are where your students are going to be able to go in and do what it is that we've been teaching them how to do. In this particular simulation, we are going to be putting together a computer. You'll see here on the left-hand side, we've got all of our different instructions of the things that we need to accomplish. On our shelf, we've got the different components that we're going to need to utilize to complete these tasks. And then on our workspace, we've got our computer components. So in this case, again, we're going to be building a computer. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop some of these items over here so we can go ahead and get started. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but we want to make sure that we get enough done so you can see, how robust these simulations are. So there's that. We can go ahead and look at different views of these different items so we can see exactly what it is that we're working on here. Yep, this is the one that goes in here. And our cables this way. You kind of get the idea here. Here's this one. We'll plug the mouse in. There we go. Et cetera, et cetera. There's many different things that you can do in this simulation. One of the final tasks that they've asked you to do, is to turn our computer on to make sure that things are working correctly. So we can go ahead and do that as well. Oops. Let's turn the front over here, turn my monitor on. We do try to keep this as realistic as possible so that your students can see what this would be like in the real world. So I just went ahead and turned my computer on. I did not plug in a keyboard. I do have a mouse that's working here though, so I'll be able to type anything. But there's my error, which is normal. That says, hey, your keyboard's not plugged in. Kind of idea, but you can see the cause and effect kind of idea here. Okay, we're going to go ahead once we've completed our task to what we think it needs to be. We can go ahead and score our lab, and here it'll give your students feedback as to what they've done correctly or incorrectly, and also give them an explanation as to how to complete those various tasks. So it gives them the feedback. We grade everything for you so you can monitor and see exactly what your students are working on, how much time they're spending, how many attempts they've gone through in order to complete these. I'll show you the reports here in a minute as well, but that's something that we'll monitor for you. Finally, we have a quiz at the end of every section. so your students can go in and really make sure that they are understanding and comprehending the things that they are learning. These are multiple choice questions, so we can go ahead and select these questions. The answers are in random order. We also have a check answer up. Oh, hey, I got it right. Check answer button so that we can see if we got a question right or wrong. Let's go to the next one and see if I can get it wrong so you can see what that does. Okay, here we go. So here was my answer. Here was the correct answer. It does give us an explanation as to why that's the correct answer, as well as where to go back to find more information. So once they complete this exam, let's through all these questions here really quick. Okay, then we can score the exam. This error is just saying that I didn't answer all my questions. So once I go ahead and click that, it's going to say, hey, I got 2 right. This is your score. This is how well you've done. This 80% is just something, a benchmark that we have put in place for your students. That does not mean you have to grade them on that curve. So there's that idea in there. They're welcome to print this. They can also click the done button and then move on to the next task. Also in our system, we do prep your students for many various certifications depending on the course you're in. This particular one, we are going to be doing the CompTIA IT Fundamentals. So here there are practice exams, or either, you can do it by question, by domain, or you can go ahead and just do a practice test in here. We also have our own certification exam that's included with the cost of the material. So this is included. A lot of our teachers use this as the final at the end of the class. But this is a certification that we have created, and we've got your practice questions and things here as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump back over to our main screen here. I'm going to go ahead and click on this My Campus tab. Now I can go ahead and start seeing some of the other teacher resources that we have created for you. Here, let me take a step back. When you start getting your students access to the course material, you will be responsible to create the student account, create a class, and enroll that student into the class. Don't worry, once you get to that point, we'll send you a bunch of instructions to get that taken care of. Once they're in the system and they've started using the materials, you can go ahead and find and run reports for those students. This is what I was talking about a few minutes ago. In our class gradebook, you'll be able to see all of your students plus all of their scores, so you can monitor exactly what they're doing here. In this report, you will be able to see their highest scores. So Ben Good here may have completed this lab 3 times, and one of those times he got that 75%. Now, if I want to drill into the students a little bit further, let's go ahead and look at our friend Ben, and I can see exactly what Ben is doing. Just a second to refresh here. There we go. So he hasn't accomplished a lot, but I can see how many times he's gone through something, how much time he spent, a couple of different scores, score options, newest, highest, lowest, and then an average in here as well. So there's many different tools and reporting that's available for your students. These all are downloadable. So if you want to come in here and get that information so you can upload it into your personalized system, you're welcome to do that. We also have an interface with many of the LMS systems that are out there. So if that's something you're interested in, please contact your account executive for that information. We do also have custom exams where you can go in and create your own exams using any of our questions or our simulations. So you can kind of shake things up a little bit for your students. So you can see here, the different questions that we have in our system that they can go ahead and select to quiz your students on there. Your students will not have access to these until you register them or schedule them for this exam. This makes it so you can do like a more protected type of exam. So there's your IT Fundamentals Pro. We can go ahead and select that, choose a date and time have them to complete that exam. Thank you so much for joining me today. In a nutshell, that is what our system is. That's how it works. Very easy to understand and very easy to navigate through. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Your account executives and managers, as well as teams, are available for you, and we are happy to help. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.